We got a Fox News alert now on the health of the U.S. economy. This is troubling. Commerce Department says the economy shrank by nearly 3% from January to March. Now, how does that happen? That's the worst showing since the start of the recession some 5 years ago. Stuart Varney, host of Varney & Company, the Fox Business Network. How are you? Good morning.
Okay,
all right,
Bill.
Varney, El Stinko, right? Put some lipstick on this pig.
How do you want me to do that, Bill? That might be kind of difficult, okay? Let me give you the numbers, first of all. As you said, we're shrinking. The American economy is smaller than it was, shrinking nearly 3% per year. Sales down, orders for big-ticket items down. It looks grim. These numbers were a real shock. We were not expecting anything that bad. Now, in response, the White House is saying this decline in the economy is accounted for by lower spending on health care in the first quarter of the year. And that's an interesting argument. The argument being that the success of Obamacare shrinks the economy. That's unusual. You could explain it by saying, wait a minute, this year we face higher deductibles. So a lot of people were reluctant to go to the doctor, so healthcare spending was down at the early part of this year. They got their healthcare spending into the latter part of last year to avoid the bigger charges this year.
Do you buy that logic, or is it too twisted to even for a former English guy like yourself?
No, it doesn't work. You can say that part of the blame lies with the bad winter. You can say that part of the blame lies with lower healthcare spending, but you can't explain away all of it. This 3% drop in the size of the economy in a 3-month period. You can't explain it like that. There's something deeper going on here. It has to be a policy failure to some degree of the Obama administration. But Bill, I got this for you. What happens if we now do slide into recession? Or if we slow down dramatically, as we are, what happens? What are we going to do about that? We can't print up another couple of $1 trillion by the Federal Reserve. It won't work, and it didn't work. And the deficit will go up very big if we go into a recession. What's the president going to do? Raise taxes to drop that deficit? That won't fly either. We're in a hole here, and these numbers are grim news.
It was revised before, right? It was revised
Twice.
Before that, and on and on and on. You know, anecdotally, Stuart, you look around New York City, the cranes are coming back on the skyline, which tells me there was construction in this town. You could have gone for 4 years without seeing a crane. That has changed now. That gives me an indication that there is some movement in the economy. Am I wrong?
No. In certain places, yes, you see the cranes appearing and construction is back. In certain parts of the country, that is true. But for the vast majority of Americans, their spending power is shrinking. They're not getting high-paid jobs. And this economy, as these numbers show, is actually shrinking. Remember, please, this is the worst shrinkage of the economy in a non-recession period in 58 years. 58 years. This, you can't explain this away
your point
with
is
weather and health
very
care.
well taken about the middle class, and that's another discussion that we'll have another time about the net worth of Americans and whether or not the savings account is where it needs to be for their own long-term economic health.
Well
Thank
said.
you, Stuart. See you at 11 o'clock, okay,
Sure.
on FBN. Appreciate it.